Misfits, and welcome! Today we're doing something a little bit different. We are reacting to some D&D Reddit stories, and I actually don't know anything about any of these stories that are prepared. They have been cultivated and selected by our very own Emily Bigler. So why don't you take it away, and let's see what we got.
Well, we're starting off strong. The first one is titled, Just a DM Rant About a Now Dead Murder Hobo.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
The context. I DM for a group of 6 IRL friends. Some of them have experience on the PC side of the screen, and some of them are brand new. Being a group of adults with real-life shit, there's usually a chair or two open, but when the table is full, it can be frustrating to keep them coordinated. One player in particular, let's call him Jay, really likes to mix shit up. He's constantly getting the party into unnecessary conflicts or turning would-be allies into enemies in ways that take agency from the party, i.e., I walk away from this main story discussion to go murder the sassy priest.
What?
Yep. I've talked to this player about this away from the table with some good results, but Jay also likes to get very drunk during or even before our games, at which point these distracting problems return. Jay plays a bear totem barbarian, so usually he can survive whatever bullshit he gets into, but the time and focus it takes away from the game is exhausting. To make matters worse, behind the screen we're playing through Descent into Avernus, which is a shit show of a module, so I'm balancing the book with online supplements while trying to incorporate 6 backstories, so not ideal.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure you can relate to that a little bit.
Juggling 6 backstories, that sounds like so much.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
before we continue with like this specific night that he's about to talk about, what do we think so far?
Uh-oh. This guy's a problem.
Yeah, sounds like a problem player. Sounds like talking to him hasn't really done anything.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know, is he an alcoholic or something?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I would assume so. Like,
I
don't know.
I've heard of this being like a big issue at some tables where like they ban drinking at their tables because it like messes up the game. Can't relate.
Oh.
We've never had that issue. But like,
yeah.
I have.
really?
At my other table.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the reason that whole shit show went down at my other table.
No!
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Those 2
No.
players were drunk off their butts. Yep.
Look,
But
man,
that's
if
for
you
another
can't
day.
handle it, you don't need to
I don't
do
know.
that on
That's
your own
just
time.
yeah. Okay, because
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's weird because I get it. Like people play some people play D&D to unwind, and then they drink to unwind, and then they want to do. But like I don't know. Maybe
Don't cross
I'm
the streams.
don't cross.
You can't have it
I
all.
feel the same way.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about concerts. Some people go to concerts and they like can't remember the
Yeah.
concert. I'm like, I paid money for this concert.
Yeah, why would you pay
Yeah.
to go?
Remember it.
Well, I don't know. And like D&D is cooperative. That I think. Well, obviously this player's forgetting or not knowing, but I don't know. It's like how can you be cooperative if like you're drunk
Well,
off your ass?
It also, we haven't even got into it, but it sounds like this player doesn't really want to do the whole like serious story D&D.
No.
They just want to like fuck around and fight
Goof
stuff.
off.
Whereas
like, play
everybody else presumably is like, I'm here to do the backstory, narrative, roleplay stuff, you know? So it
Yeah.
sounds like this person just doesn't need to be at that table.
That's how I feel too so far. Okay,
Very main character.
let's move on.
Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, go
Let's
ahead.
keep going, yeah.
The game night in question. 5 out of 6 members of the party are planning to attend. Jay shows up first with a mutual friend, who we'll call Kay, who's not a part of our usual group. Both of them walk in the door with a freshly poured drink in hand. We've been drinking for like 6 hours. Great. Kay has played at our table once before and has been very vocal about how D&D is not for him. However, he says now he's between jobs, so he has time to pop in. Whatever.
Oh my gosh.
After his 20 of nameless guards, so here's a vanilla stat block. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine just walking up to a table and being like, hey, I'm here to play. No prep.
Yeah. Don't
I'm
like
currently
it.
I
I'm
hate
unemployed,
this
so I can play now.
I
Yeah.
hate it. I hate
Yeah.
this game. It's not for me, but I'm just here to like be your problem now.
What
Yeah.
are you doing? What are you doing? Like,
Ick.
I would
Dick.
say that's great of you to come. You can sit and watch.
yeah, yeah.
That would solve that issue. Yeah.
yeah.
Very quickly.
Okay. The party is fresh out of a difficult fight and is at a major checkpoint where they're about to meet some important NPCs and get a new major objective. Just as they're being briefed, Jay announced that he wants to walk away from the conversation and take K and an NPC he dislikes, who we'll call S, to the perimeter to keep watch. S is a cleric of Tiamat and a brother of another PC that has been feuding with Jay for a while.
Oh no.
S is a tentative ally for the
He's
time
gonna kill him.
being, but has been very open about eventually fighting Jay to the death.
This
S
guy's
agrees
so
to
dead.
keep watch. I know. S agrees to keep watch with Jay because he knows Jay is on the verge of death from the previous fight. So if they fight, he had a good chance. Jay is drunk IRL and wants to do murder. I say, sure, the three of you go to keep watch and proceed with the briefing. Jay continues to interrupt the briefing despite not being there. Eventually, he puts his hand up and I tell him we'll resolve this shit in a minute. I get through the briefing, very distracted, then cut to Jay. He wants to pay K 100 gold to stand by and do nothing while he murders S. K agrees. Sigh. Whatever. Jay charges S to kill him. Roll initiative. S gets first turn. He runs back at Jay and activates Spirit Guardians, which I mistake as a bonus action. Oops.
Oh.
And follow up with a Sacred Flame, which lands. I asked Jay how much HP he has. 71. No way. You were healed from the verge of death last game. Jay checks notes. Oh, I had 16, so now I have 8. Cool. At the top of Jay's turn, he makes a save against Spirit Guardians. Nat 20. I roll damage and it says 17. He takes half, so 8. He thinks it should be 0 because Nat 20. I disagree. It's half. Jay is upset. Long story short, Jay is killed by S in the following rounds. Jay turns into a devil because the whole party unknowingly took a blood oath to Zariel, signed, seal, delivered, and is killed by the rest of the party as they show up. He can't be revivified because devil soul and body were destroyed, and Jay is throwing a drunk hissy fit all the while, muttering stuff like such bullshit and killing the energy at the table. I know.
Karma.
Karma, right?
That's beautiful.
Eventually, he announces to the group that he's done with D&D. I tell him we'd love to have him, but you do you. The game comes to an awkward early finish. The outcome. Because we wrapped up early, we had some time left to hang out. At some point, Jay pulls me aside and says he was just joking about being salty, and he's down to make a new character and keep playing. He said he picked a fight while having 16 HP, and the outcome was fair. In the moment, I was relieved, but now not so much. Either he threw a drunk fit and ruined everyone's night, or pretended to do as much and intentionally made everyone have a good time. I thought about redoing the fight since I called
He's not
Spirit
that
Guardians
smart,
wrong,
buddy.
No.
He's not that smart.
but I don't think it would change the outcome. I'm leaning towards telling Jay he's not welcome back unless he can get his drinking under control and possibly starting a new campaign with everyone else that isn't DIA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just processed that they were drinking for 6 hours. They were pre-gaming for 6 hours.
6
Yeah,
hours.
before the
Yeah.
D&D.
So
Pre-gaming D&D, nonetheless. That's crazy.
I have some like DM
Yeah.
things that I would say. Number one,
Yeah.
probably from here on out, no drinking while playing. If one person can't handle it, cut it off for the whole table. Like, you
Yep.
don't need the drink to have fun. You can have fun without. Number two, I'm normally not a in-game consequences for out-of-game actions kind of person. So, as funny as all of that was, I think that should have been resolved, like, one-on-one. And the second he wasn't showing that he was understanding the guidelines that DM was trying to set, probably should have been dismissed from the table. And then number three, no, you can't come back. Sorry. Bye. No, that's it. He's done.
No.
No.
I'm like trying to picture any of us doing that at any table, and I just cannot fathom it.
I
No.
would be mortified.
No.
What-
No.
What you were saying about like how when he had separated from the party and then the rest of the party was having a briefing and he kept interrupting it. I just thought, what if that happened with us? Which if you're following our campaign, then you know this. But if you don't, there is a point where our party is split and it's very serious.
I literally
like,
I had to turn my camera off.
You did? Yes.
Some tables are better about the whole metagaming stuff than others, but like, I mean, I would just be like, "You're not there. Sorry." Like,
no,
Yeah.
Well, you've done that to us before, and like we stopped.
but it's fine, and you can say that without being like a dick. You're just like,
Yeah.
I understand you want to participate, but you weren't there. We'll get
You
to
are
it
not
later."
there. Just like Isla having a serious ass moment, just me being like, I would like to.
Like, it'd be like so weird.
It's like, you're not there.
Beyond me. I do not understand. Ugh.
But like that whole notion of like maybe he intentionally did this so that the rest of us would have a good time. Dude's drunk off his ass. He's not smart enough to like orchestrate.
He doesn't
that.
know up from down at that point.
No.
Like,
Speaking of, there was a comment
Uh-oh.
commenting about the fact where he was like, he was just joking and being salty and he's down to make a new character. And the comment is, this is a lie. He was throwing a hissy fit and then his big boy brain finally surfaced and went, oh no, me no get to play D&D anymore if I don't 180.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
here
yeah.
comes
That's-
MJ.
Hey, MJ.
Hello. Oh my god.
A late edition. We are reading Reddit stories. We've gotten through one.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Are we ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
Wait, one
Yes.
second. I just thought of like how this is all happening too.
Oh, you're muted.
MJ, you're muted.
Yeah, you are. Because it mutes you if
I
the
hate
call.
that feature so much.
Yeah, it's too
I love
big.
it, but I
and
hate it.
Every single time.
It's so funny.
It's,
Oh god. No,
That's-
I love that your reaction was all muted too. Like,
I
you know. What you were saying.
it's every time. Every time. I mean, that's my old age. That's my age coming into effect. It's like it's just the one thing I can't remember, and it's like, of course, it's this mute button. Annoying. But are these like D&D like stories from Reddit or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
They are.
spicy. I like
Wait,
it.
do we have any closing remarks for the previous story?
I have one that I just processed. Like this guy, I just realized this guy this guy was first of all drinking at D&D, so there's that. But then also was just like so main character, just wants to do, and a murder hobo. It's awful. But I just realized this guy is like, yeah, I want to go fight. Like he's just slurring everything. I just realized. I'm like, how the fuck is this sounding right now?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Before the game, he'd been drinking for 6 hours.
Hours.
What? Like,
No.
you can't. Look, man. No, I'm sorry. This isn't like
That's so long.
floating down a lazy river with your
No.
six-pack or
No.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
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 Mm.
No. Anyway,
Unless
that was it.
noted, I won't be pre-gaming for D&D. You know.
Yeah.
I
A
will
mess.
drink while we play, but like,
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever had more than like 2 glasses of anything during a game. But
No.
we also don't play
Yeah.
for like hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah. No, I mean, I even forgot that some people drank because it's never affected any of our gameplay. So,
Right.
like,
Exactly.
that's
We've
just
never-
called being an adult. And
Exactly.
Drinking in moderation.
yeah,
What?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever. Look, there's too much math in the game for me to be drunk and play.
Yeah.
That's a great
honestly,
Honest truth.
Like, totally sober. I'm counting on my fingers and
Yeah.
struggling. So
whipping out my calculator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can't make that more complicated than it is.
No.
I'm
Crazy.
ready for the next story.
Yeah.
This next one, I just thought was really funny. It is in D&D horror stories, but it's titled, I made a world-class pun last night and was not rewarded with inspiration. What do I do?
I actually feel that so hard.
Look, I'm down for a
I
good
feel like
pun, but
Kind of applies to our table because we never remember inspiration.
No.
We never remember to ask for it.
I
Yeah.
actually very recently took it out of our
Did you
table
really?
rules because I'm so
You
bad
never-
at it.
Yeah, none of us remember it. It's not even just you being bad at it, Amanda. We're all bad
Yeah.
at it.
I
I'm
used
giving
to.
anybody this campaign inspiration.
I don't think
No.
this campaign.
No, because
I think
last campaign,
maybe twice.
Yeah.
maybe. Last
Yeah.
campaign, I remember.
2 years.
Last campaign, I began to realize I was like, okay, we are making excellent decisions here. We're creative. I am not seeing that creativity rewarded, and which is fine. Which is fine because we won. But
Normally,
True.
I feel like I counteract it in ways by giving like advantage or
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you do.
adjusting
Yeah.
the DC and
Yes.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm also
No.
just terrible.
It's fine.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's fine. No, but I totally relate to the whole like my talent is not recognized because all the time.
But should inspiration be rewarded
Not for that.
for making a pun?
No,
Well, let's
no.
judge the pun. Let's
Oh,
judge
yeah,
the
that's
pun.
true.
What is it? Did
Let's
they
hear
put
it.
it?
How good
Yes,
was
they
the
put
pun?
it.
Okay.
right, let's hear it.
I need
It was
to-
way better in the moment, and I forget how I delivered it. We save Griffin eggs from being smashed by placing them in a bag of holding. After much discussion, we come to the conclusion that they will have sufficient oxygen, but they may be cold. Therefore, we put our bedrolls into said bag along with the eggs. I corrected a player when he mentioned the eggs, and I said, "You mean the egg rolls?"
That's pretty good.
Okay. That's pretty good.
I do agree. It's better in the moment. Now it's just like now
See,
it's like
I feel
okay,
like
you put this on Reddit for what? Like
I feel
you
like
know?
if one of y'all made that joke, I'd be like, you take 1d4 points of damage.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Psychic
absolutely.
damage.
Yeah, the whole party takes psychic damage.
Right.
Wow. You're gonna
One
give the whole party
commenter-
emotional damage?
Emotional damage.
Damage. One commenter said, "Find a new group. I'm afraid. I'm sorry you had to endure that."
Not the enabling. Oh my gosh.
Not the
Time to
enabling.
leave.
Not yeah. Oh.
That's funny. That's funny. But again, I'm like, you. Why did you go to Reddit?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm stuck on.
But as a joke, it's like okay. But
Yeah, as a joke, sure.
I'm stuck on whether or not those griffin eggs would make it in a bag of holding.
Right?
I feel
Interesting
Mm.
to think about.
like if the point is to hatch them one day, then I feel like starving them of oxygen would not. Because you can only. How long can you?
I guess
the
it
bag?
depends on.
I think it's like,
Is it a minute?
depends on
or
how long
10
they keep it.
minutes?
I think it's 10,
That's
but I might be wrong.
But they're babies.
well, we can look it up.
Yeah.
Babies
Well, I
are-
guess it depends on how long they are they just trying to smuggle the eggs out of somewhere safely and then they'll take them out? You know, we don't know the
Or
context.
is it like a temporary
Have y'all
solution?
noticed how you guys haven't had the opportunity to get a bag of holding this
I
campaign?
Yeah,
have
I
noticed
do.
that actually.
I have
Every
noticed
day.
that as well.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with me being afraid of you using it against me.
What?
What?
No way.
No way.
So
Never.
it's the rule of breathing is breathing creatures inside the bag can survive up to a number of minutes equal to 10 divided by the number of creatures, minimum of 1 minute.
Oh.
So how many?
After which time they begin to suffocate. So it would depend on, I guess, the number of
I'm
eggs.
just saying, get those babies out quick, because
Yeah.
Mhm.
It didn't say how many eggs. No number.
sad.
Then we will never
So
know.
I guess our takeaway from this is we would all have suffered 1d4 psychic damage from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really the only correct way to rule that scenario. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are we ready for the next one?
Sorry, I'm just like, wow. Didn't realize I was. I'm good. It's okay. It'll be fine. Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. That time my DM forced my death because I was, quote unquote, too new to make homebrew.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this one, I mean, I won't spoil it. It's pretty bad.
No, I can. Yeah.
So, sometime in November of 2020, one of my friends invited me to a 5e campaign. I was the only one who didn't personally know the DM. My friend played as a tiefling sorcerer, someone else played a half-elf cleric, who I'll call cleric for simplicity, and a variant human rogue. I was a homebrew race, jackal folk, a monk. They are usually lawful. I was lawful neutral. And very importantly, have advantage on death saves. But they also don't know a lot about the world in different ways. My character didn't know what magic really was. He figured some people can just say magic words and the gods give them power, which was true for cleric, so there was no reason for him to think otherwise. He was also fairly intelligent, but had a -2 on wisdom. This is because in his monastery, no one really lied, so he believed a lot of people that he considered good. It was a homebrew campaign where magic worked differently. Magic was barely obtainable energy with lots of risks involved when used. Not for our cleric, though, because I guess they were the DM's favorite. The campaign was hosted over Discord, and there weren't many problems. I showed them my homebrew. They said that seems balanced, and the first 2 sessions went on. Everything was going fine. A lot of roleplay, cool world building. But one time, we were facing a mind flayer, and I almost died. I had to make a wisdom saving throw. It failed, and I would have failed the death saving throws too if it weren't for my death save advantage. The DM went on for the rest of the game about how I was so close to dying. Not in a, wow, that's so cool that you saved that way kind of way. More like a, how could you have that homebrew that I approved kind of way. I figured it was fine. He'll be over it by the next session. Boy, was I wrong. He hated me for the rest of the campaign. He treated me like I should be dead. It helped that Cleric would constantly heal me because it seemed like 2/3 of the enemies targeted me, and the rest would actually target the party. One time I was hit with 4 attacks and would have been put on my death saving throws if Cleric wasn't healing me next in initiative. The DM also started giving the party level ups, but not me. I mentioned it like, I know. I mentioned it like a joke at first, but he did it almost half of the time. There was a scene where I was up against a shambling mount, alone, because the rest of the party decided to split up.
Alone?
The rogue actually, I know, alone. The rogue actually wanted to help me, but the DM said, you should probably just stay with the party so no one gets hurt.
What?
He also made a snarky comment on how if he dies, he'll just live anyways. He has death save advantage. You could tell he was still pissed about me being alive. I got past it without that much of a problem and met up with the rest of the party later on. You know, right after he put me through hell. He had more than 9 enemies on me one time, and the battles were really sloppy, not to be rude. You could tell he didn't even have that many enemies prepared. Almost at the end of the campaign, he had several cultists, long story, attack the party, and I'm not lying when I say all but one attacked me, and that was because the last one was healing. He insisted to the cleric that she shouldn't heal me several times. He got me down to a wisdom death saved again. I rolled a 14, minus 2 equals 12, failure. I rolled an 8, minus 2 equals 6, failure. I rolled a nat 20, success. Then a 16, minus 2 equals 14, failure. I should have lived it, but no, failure. I mentioned I have advantage. I definitely should have lived overall. And then he said, I'm the DM, I make the rules. You died, roll up a new character. My friend defended me. DM replies, do you want me to kill you too? I asked the DM, do you hate my character or something? It feels like you've been trying to kill me the whole game. And he said, yeah, you're too inexperienced to make homebrew anyway. I never should have approved it. So I left the campaign. So did my friend, and apparently the cleric did too. My friend told me that. He said, what a crybaby. He's probably so mad right now. Ha ha. My friend and cleric don't know about the rogue, stopped being friends with him. It was actually kind of a shame. They were a great DM and an amazing world builder before they started hating me.
No.
I also want to mention.
You don't have to be nice about that.
No, you don't.
No. Bad people don't deserve compliments like that.
Right,
Nope.
right?
No.
I also want to mention, one time my character was in a conversation with an NPC who was great at controlling magic, which was a plot point. My character, who had no clue what magic is or how people use it, asked about magic. He said in the conversation, sorry. So, do you have a magic wand or something? The DM threw his hands on the table and said, that's not how magic works. Okay, my character doesn't know that. Then maybe you shouldn't have made him so dumb. He then said how the wizard insulted him and mentioned people like you should just be dead. Not sure if it was intentional, but very possible that it wasn't really the wizard talking to my character. Overall, happy ending? I'm not sure how it could have gone better. Maybe me dying and rolling a new character? My friend actually thanked me after the campaign. They said that their friendship was toxic and I gave them an excuse to stop being friends with him. So I guess there was more good than bad. And I'm pretty sure he ended the campaign when we left, hopefully before taking a reality check.
That person was too nice.
Taking a reality check.
Too nice, especially for random strangers on the internet. Like,
Yeah.
That's horrible.
That's a bad DM.
So mean.
Really bad.
You don't punish the player because you failed to read
Thank you.
their character.
Their character.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And
like,
also-
if it gets by, it gets by, and now you have to deal with it. Like,
There are
There's
so many
there's-
crazy things we've done that you've just been like, well, I approved it, so sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stubborn
Hey,
you.
are there harpoons on this ship? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Like,
Oh, okay.
3D TIG, sure.
Sure.
But like, there's so many other.
There's
like
literally
game-breaking things. I don't even think advantage on death saves is that big a deal.
The advantage on death save, there's literally a race that has that. It's the lineages that came with the Ravenloft
right.
book,
Yes.
Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft or whatever. You can be an undead person, somebody that's basically been brought back to life. For those that watch Critical Role,
the Reborn.
Is essentially the Reborn, and you get I believe you get advantage on death saving throws, or you can. I don't know if they play it that way at their table, but that's. I believe.
But like, I wouldn't even say that's super game breaking. It just sounds like the DM got butthurt.
It's not.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice if it goes with their character too. Like, it's all about character. And this guy seems like they were really into their character and like playing their character. And that's what makes me so sad. It's because the DM's such a dick.
I can't believe he got mad at them for like role playing. Like, I don't know how magic works, so that's why I'm responding this way. Well, you're an idiot. You should be dead. Like, grow up.
Who says that to anybody?
Are you like alive and lost your lunch on the playground? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Go to therapy.
Yeah, this DM, speaking on that, this DM sounds like they are non-confrontational. And so when he realized that he did not like the things, whether it was when he first read it or when it was actually being brought into play, when he realized that shit's in the game that he really wished he hadn't allowed, instead of being well-adjusted and being like, you know what, I allowed this, now I gotta deal with it. Instead, he was like resenting himself, I think, for allowing it. And so every time this character and this person playing the character, like, you know, have their features, you know, a part of the game, he just got, I think, just so angry because that was his resentment towards himself, and that was just a reminder of what he didn't do. And then
super passive aggressive about it.
Yeah,
super passive aggressive.
Well, and like,
but also like, sorry, you go first.
If you really hate the feature and you really think it's gonna break your game, sit down and have a civilized discussion and be like, "Hey, I overlooked this thing. Would it be okay if we change this?" Like,
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I mean, if you approach it that way, 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to go along with you. Or, at the very least, you can talk and work something else out together. Like, again, I just hate in-game consequences for, like, you know, no reason.
Yeah.
That's,
like, I know if something slipped by you and you were actually upset about it being in the game or something, if you just came and talked to me, I would be like, yeah, let's figure this out. We can take it out and we can make some sort of compromise.
Can't picture myself getting upset about.
Yeah.
Like,
you put up with so much.
Honestly.
The goal is for everybody to have fun. Like, like, this is written down in a book somewhere and it's made it into the game, so whatever. I'll just make up some monster that can work around it, or I'll just deal with it. I don't know. Like,
I think people forget that this is a game and that you're supposed to have fun.
Yeah.
Way too often. And it's stupid. Like, it's just stupid. Like, touch some grass, man.
Touch grass.
Oh, man.
So there's a comment, and we've kind of touched on some of this. Advantage on death saves is not that overpowered considering some of the insane homebrew out there. In fact, it's rather tame. If the DM did not want homebrew, he should have ruled from the start, only published races or classes from the first session. Not passively aggressively take it out on you in-game because a racial feature just happened to be useful. Sounds like a real asshole of a DM who probably does not have the mentality to DM. Did this dude just not like you personally or something, or was he just a jerk, or both? I'd either leave the game or call a vote to remove the DM role from him. The person lacks the mentality for a good DM.
Yeah, I would agree. 100%.
I just remembered what he said about when OP had like been split from the party, and then the rogue was going to go with them, and how the DM just railroaded and was like, "No, you're staying
with the party."
Yeah.
There's like so many offenses here. I feel like
so many layers.
Yeah.
I thought this was interesting. So I found that post because the cleric posted about this.
Oh.
Separately. I mentioned this to you, Amanda.
And I didn't totally different post with the other side. With
another POV.
I didn't save the cleric, but it was essentially the cleric being like, man, I can't believe this happened. I tried to help this character, and they were like kind of new to playing D&D, and the DM just kind of like, we're not friends anymore, you know, like that kind of thing. And then someone put in the comments is this what you're talking about? In the original post that we just read. I just thought that was so funny.
Yeah, I love that. Wow. Good friend though, the cleric.
If you can't handle the choices that people make, you don't need to be in charge of a game that's like reliant on people getting to make choices.
In reacting
agency.
To those choices.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
No.
Yes.
Go write a novel if you can't handle.
Literally, that's what I'm saying.
Come on.
It's like you just want to write a novel. You don't realize it, but you just want to write a book, and that's great. You should do that. Just
yeah.
Maybe people will read it. I don't know if
maybe
it is, but
no.
I also just remembered that he said that like 8 of the 9 cultists were on him.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine?
And the one who wasn't was
crying.
Like, and the one who wasn't was healing somebody. Like, what?
Yeah.
I can't even
start crying.
I'm trying to visualize that on a map because, you know, on a grid map, not 8 things on what, like.
I'm impressed this guy lived. Like,
right?
I'm impressed this guy lived as long as he did with all of these monsters.
Well, it's because the cleric said, like, every turn the cleric was healing this dude.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's a friend. That is a friend right there.
Right?
Yeah, obviously, even though they're new to the game, they're pretty good. Like,
well, and they were like interested in role playing, and
No, I actually love that though. If like new players roll up and they like have a good understanding of their character and they're creative, that's awesome. I'm like, yo, you can hang. You know, that's
exactly.
Yeah,
that's honestly cool. the race that they created sounds really interesting. Like,
I agree.
Kind of like about it.
I agree.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with like the jackal, like the were-jackal things, but they'd be cool as a playable race.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Toads.
I have one more if we want to do.
Yes.
Okay. This is titled, Can I Have a Wish Spell?
Oh no.
We've never had wish come up in any of our games. I'm scared of the day when it happens. I know it'll happen one day, but
if we ever have casters that can have 9th level spells, if we're at least level, what is it, 14? 14 that get you, or no, 16?
Well, you've talked about
18.
us like playing our level 20 characters.
We've talked about
we need to like have a discussion about specifically.
Yeah.
Whenever we get to that point where I'm like, fine, play your level 20 characters, we might need to sit down and be like, all right, guys.
Did any of you take this?
Okay.
Okay.
Long-time reader, first-time poster. This one is a bit of a funny one. I am the greedy player asking for the wish spell, but I figure I'd post it here, since it might get a cackle out of you. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. For context, this was just the preparation for an upcoming D&D campaign, which I won't be naming names from anyone. DM and I are the only essential figures, and I don't wish to spoil anything they might have in mind. All you need to know for context is we are a group of 8. 8. We are all VTubers with busy schedules. I'm rather new to D&D 5e, and we're still scheduling things and getting the kinks about the characters figured out. So far, my character has decided to be a cleric of the grave themed after Anput. 6 days ago, I asked in the group chat, hey DM, I might need a wish spell for my character. A couple hours passed with silence on the chat, and then the DM responded, why do you need a wish spell? And then added, like the good wholesome DM they are, worried about me shooting myself in the foot. More importantly, do you realize you'll lose all your magic if you use it right? And added, and some of my enemies like mind flayers can turn you against your party members and use spells right, but seriously, I'm curious why you want the wish spell. There it was, the setup. They activated my trap card. It was I revealed my mischievous scheme to wish you all Merry Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
Catching everyone off guard, I like to imagine I made them smile. After a couple minutes, the DM said, I'll allow it this one time. And yeah, that was it. Yeah, I'm sneaking a second use of that wish spell to wish them and you all a Happy New Year. So this was posted around New Year's, but I just thought it was funny.
That's cute.
I was so stressed. Were y'all as well? Like,
yeah,
I was really concerned.
Wish scares me.
Wish is terrifying.
When OP was like, there it is, the setup. I'm like, what the fuck is
I was
happening?
like, what are you about to ask?
That's so funny.
Someone commented, I imagine the DM having PTSD for a moment from all the bad players that he or she had to deal with just for you to put a smile on his face. Well done.
That's really cute.
That's cute.
Right?
I feel like if I got a text
twist
like that, I'd be like, oh God.
It's happened. It's happening.
Like, I have to know what they want to do, but do I have the ability to turn it down?
I fear no man, but that thing.
But that one thing.
Man.
But the one.
One day I want Wish to be in a game. One day.
Yeah.
It's on like my bucket list. Kind of up there with what is
Like
it
a
called?
divine intervention actually happening.
Yeah, or like a deck of many things,
Yeah.
which is game breaking.
There's a post about that we'll read another time. I
Yeah.
figured this is enough, but yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to do deck of many things, you know.
Well, I would alter it because the
we're
OG
good.
deck, there are cards in there that are like, you lose a level, or like,
Yeah.
these scores go down by this amount. You know, like, I feel like that wouldn't be fun for anybody. But like, I don't know. Some of the other stuff I can work around. I don't want anybody to be like the wrong level though.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Because
That's tough.
Goodness. Well,
I love how. Sorry, Amanda. I love how you were like, no, I want everyone to be the same level, even at the expense of modifying the wish spell. You'll make sure we're all the same level, which I appreciate. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really not for you. It's for me.
yeah.
I need to be sane.
It makes my life easier.
I will say there was one part when the DM in that, and there were a couple comments about this, said that like you'll lose all your magic if you use the wish spell. That's not something, right? It's
okay.
It's like alter reality. Then there's like you have to roll.
Maybe that's like a table rule.
Wish ultimately
I don't know, maybe.
is like how accurately it works out based off of what you wish for is ultimately up to the DM. So you need to word it really carefully. Like if you had a genie, yeah, and you made a wish,
Right.
they're totally able to find that loophole and ruin your day. But it shouldn't like take your magic away. Like Scanlan has
Isn't
wish,
there-
and
There's like a chance if you do something you have to roll to see if you can ever cast wish again though, right? I think. Per wall?
Yeah, I think that is a thing, but I can't remember if you have the spell or if it's like I know if you draw the card, I think you have to roll to see if you get like another wish or can make another wish. Like
okay. I looked it up.
Claudia's doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Thanks. So, the very last paragraph of the spell description says, the stress of casting this spell to produce any effect other than duplicating another spell weakens you. After enduring that stress, each time you cast a spell until you finish a long rest, you take 1d10 necrotic damage per level of that spell. This damage can't be reduced or prevented in any way. In addition, your strength drops to 3 if it isn't 3 or lower already for 2d4 days. For each of those days that you spend resting and doing nothing more than light activity, your remaining recovery time decreases by 2 days. Finally, there is a 33% chance that you are unable to cast wish ever again if you suffer this stress.
Okay.
It is a very taxing thing, apparently.
It's like a last effort.
Resort
Like
kind
a
of thing.
Hail
Yeah.
Mary.
You don't open a battle with wish.
No.
No.
been
We're
a bit
getting
crazy.
off track. Well, I enjoyed these Reddit stories. I look forward to the next crop of them.
Yeah.
Me too.
And hopefully the rest of our players either can hear them or react to them or give their feedback or whatever. But
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I think to sum it up, all of these issues could have been solved by communication.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Yes.
1000%. That's like, I'm like, every time I read either horror stories on Reddit or like asking for advice on like Facebook or forums or whatever, I'm just like, just talk to each other, guys. Just sit down and talk. Like, it's okay. And if they won't talk to you, that's the problem. You need to leave.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Find another table.
That's the adulting thing, unfortunately. You have to talk to each other.
Man,
crazy.
An important life lesson to learn. Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more or would like to support us, feel free to like and subscribe. But more importantly, leave a comment down below. I like reading all of those things. Tell us about your own horror stories. Tell us about stories you've heard. Tell us about the non-horror stories that are endearing and pleasing to read. We'll read them all and reply and all that stuff. But that's really all I've got to say. So with that out of the way, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week, and we will see you again next time. So it's like a D10 for each level, like for
spell.
Oh man!
So like if you
cast like an 8th level spell, yeah,
you take a D10 of damage before you long rest. Yeah.
Dang.
Between casting wish and long resting, if you cast a spell, that's when that applies.
That's wild.
I think
that is absolutely wild.
Yeah, it is the mightiest spell a mortal can cast, is what the first sentence said, or something.
Yeah, it's the most broken, probably.
Well, to ease your mind, Ash did not take wish.
That's thank
Yeah,
you.
I didn't either.
What does that leave me with?
Did anyone take wish?
Well, wish is what? It's sorcerer and wizard, right? I don't think clerics.
I think it would have just been
I think certain types of bards can.
So Chadriel could, if you so want.
Chad Brad.
Chad Brad! I forgot about Brad. That's funny.
No, I just took Time Ravage and Time Stop instead. So.
And that makes a lot more sense.
It's rough.
Time Stop is...
Lucky. Yeah, so I think... Yeah, because I don't think...
my counter spells prepared.
Counterspell. God. I missed that.
I miss counterspell.
I miss being able to cast magic. Y'all don't even understand.
No, we do.
Yeah.
I almost never put you these days in a fight with a spellcaster that doesn't have counterspell equipped. Because I'm so paranoid about it. But, you know.
I mean, as you should be.
Yeah. I know what you guys will
was a big
do.
part of the last campaign.
It was a huge part.
Everybody that could have it equipped had it equipped.
Yeah.
At all times.
Very important.
Yep.
We also had a lot of spellcasters as villains in the last campaign.
Yes, that's
Not that
true too.
I don't know.
I feel like the villains that we have this campaign are just the central ones. Now, you may be wondering, oh, they're not talking about Reddit stories anymore. That's okay. We're talking about the series that we do on this channel. That is important and is interesting.
Leave Claudia to promote the campaign.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. But yeah, so I think because like the villains of campaign 1, like there were quite a few, I feel like, that were important. And I feel like in campaign 2 so far, there's just been 2 really big ones.
Well, we just aren't as far along in the current campaign.
I was going to say, we've also spent like 2 months in this one town, and Amanda expected us to spend like 3 sessions in it.
Is it 2 months?
Yeah. 2 in real life.
In real life, sorry.
In the game, I think we've only been there for like a week or 2.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
But she expected us to be out already. Like
outie, yeah.
A whole lot happened in a couple weeks.
It's